Well, tonight on the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, we want to dive back into the interview that Vice President Kamala Harris had conducted with the National Association of Black Journalists. And there was one of the journalists by the name of Tanya Mosley. She asked Vice President Kamala Harris a question about gun control. And I want you to see how this sister really put, some fire on her, right? To ask her some questions in a very smooth way. But it's not so much her doing that because she's really doing her job. But watch how Vice President Kamala Harris clearly watch her tone change. And at the end, watch how she leaves the event. Just watch. Let's go ahead and check that out.
Vice President, I'm switching gears again.
Okay.
Quick question. I want to talk to you about gun control. So you've said you support an assault weapons ban and universal background checks, and we actually learned during the debate that you are a gun owner. Mm-hmm. But in cities like Philadelphia, handguns are responsible for most homicides and violent crime. The most recent FBI data shows handguns were involved in 59% of murders in our country. How will you address the issue of the use of handguns? Because a push for an assault weapons ban only addresses a significant but small part of the problem.
So, first of all, yes, I am a gun owner, and Tim Walz is a gun owner, and we're not trying to take anybody's guns away from them. But we do need an assault weapons ban. Assault weapons are designed to kill a lot of human beings quickly,
yes,
and have no place,
ban.
Have no place, I'm gonna get to it.
Yes.
And have no place on the streets of a civil society. We need universal background checks, which, to your point about handguns, is about saying that it is just reasonable to want reasonable gun safety laws that say we should do background checks that we ought to know. It's just reasonable. You might want to know before someone can buy a lethal weapon if they've been found by a court to be a danger to themselves or others. You might just want to know.
And respectfully, we do understand that.
But you're asking
yes.
about...
I'm asking specifically about handguns, because many of those handguns aren't purchased in places.
Universal background checks apply to handguns.
Yes.
They do.
But in many instances, those handguns aren't even bought lawfully. Yes.
Which is why I also have been very adamant for years. In fact, I myself protested at a gun show probably 10, 15 years ago about the gun show loophole and why we need to close that. Because what ends up happening is that gun shows at flea markets, gun dealers are not, under existing law in the past, required to register their sales.
Well, it looks like somebody was a little frustrated there toward the end. She put her hand up like, whatever. So, that most candidates would be like, hey, how you doing? And maybe even shake hands with some people in the crowd, hey, vote for me, it's coming up in November. But she didn't want to go shake hands with the crowd. She didn't want to do anything. She's like, but see, and that sister was not even really pushing on her hard. She just gave her a little pushback, right? And she got visibly frustrated. Because, what did you think? Just because you were going to sit in front of the NABJ, that they weren't going to ask you questions, they didn't even treat her like they treated Trump. I mean, they came combative with Trump, and he dealt with it, right? Well, they gave just a little pushback, and if you watch the whole thing, they were asking some pretty good questions. I was like, okay, I like some of the questions that they're asking of her. See, I don't think she got the questions ahead of time, because she was doing a whole lot of babbling and a whole lot of word salad, ladies and gentlemen. She don't want to be questioned. She don't want to have to figure out what she's going to do. She has a script that she has memorized, and if you take her out of her script that she has memorized, then she gets visibly frustrated, because she clearly got frustrated. And it's not like she was being interviewed by Fox News where they literally gonna go in on you, right? So if you cannot interview, once again, if you cannot interview with these black journalists at the NABJ whose job is to ask you certain questions. You're scared of Fox News. You won't go over there with them, right? Or anybody who's going to push back on you. Even CNN was giving a little pushback too. But that's what they're supposed to do. How is she going to deal with world leaders who wants to see the undermining of the United States of America? How she's going to deal with them? They're not going to go light on her. They're not going to look at her and say, oh, well, she's a woman, so I can't say her. They don't care about that. Because in a lot of countries outside of America, they don't respect no women. A lot of them going to be like, why is she here? You know, she need to be getting me a sandwich or something. That's how a lot of them think. Women have it very good in the United States of America. Talk to women outside of America and a lot of these other countries that you have to go engage with. Those women don't have it as good. But once again, when you see her in real time, see, we all know now that the ABC debate, she had got to debate questions. A whistleblower came out and exposed it. She had got the debate questions ahead of time. Okay. So she knew what she was going to be asked because she already, that's why she was so confident when she went in there. She didn't come in here confident. She was just babbling, word salad. I watched the whole thing. She was babbling. And when she asked about the guns, she babbled for about 5 minutes, didn't say nothing. And that's like what she do. She babbles and don't say anything. I'm like, at least say something. Don't just babble. That's why I said she was not ready for prime time. And y'all say, oh, Phil, the debate happened. Ooh, but you say she wasn't ready for prime time. I was right. She wasn't ready because she had to get the questions ahead of time and cheat. Trump didn't get the questions ahead of time. He had to take it just how they gave it to him, which is how a debate's supposed to be, right? You're debating, you take whatever topic they throw at you. And Trump had to debate 3 versus 1. She didn't have to do that. So I don't see how anybody is so excited about anything. And a lot of people online are saying, man, she fumbled this interview. She did in a lot of ways. And once again, they gave her minimal pushback. They didn't mash the gas on her. And this is supposed to be the candidate that the Democrats put up. I'm sure they had other Democrats that could have probably been better than this. But no, they decided to, well, they selected her. She wasn't elected. Joe Biden was actually elected in a primary by the people. He got 14 million votes. Even though those primaries was not real primaries because they didn't really want to do a primary, right? Now, maybe next time they actually do a real one, we don't know. But if they can get away with selecting her and then she actually wins the presidency, the voters not going to have a chance anymore to select the candidate because the Democrat Party will say, oh, well, shoot, we did it once. We'll do it again. You understand what I'm saying? But Vice President Kamala Harris fumbled the ball on this whole interview. Yesterday, we talked about the scammy study. The scammy reparation study they keep talking about, a study. We're not hearing no study because we saw Gavin Newsom pull that scam in California. And when the rubber met the road and it was time to start getting things done, what did he do? He sabotaged it and used the bootlicks in the California Legislative Black Caucus to assist him in sabotaging the reparations bills. You understand what I'm saying? That's why all of them are up on the ballot in November. My brothers and sisters in California, get registered to vote and go vote against all of them. Vote against blue, no matter who. It's time for California to not be a blue state no more. It's time. It should be at minimum purple or at best red. Reason why I say that is because the Democrats have way too much of a stronghold on that state, and that state, nothing gets done. If you want to look at what it looks like when Democrats have complete control and rule, look at California. Look at California. Do you want the rest of the country to look like California? Vice President Kamala Harris is a California politician. And the rest of the country is going to look like California by the time she's done. Open borders, bringing in cultures that's not conducive to the American culture, bringing in crime, bringing in gangs, bringing in all kind of practices that we don't practice here in this country. You know what I'm saying? On top of the tax upon tax upon tax. Do you know Gavin Newsom just signed a bill about you can't do a parody video if it's about a politician when they're running for office? Because you know they're doing parody videos now with AI and things like that, but it's parody. Now he's saying California, that's illegal. So you worrying about trying to stop people from clowning you, right? But you're not worried about reparations, everything. See, that's what I'm talking about. The Democrats believe in mass censorship. Why would I want to vote for mass censorship? That's stupid. You have to understand, a person like myself and even you, that will hurt our overall bottom line of censorship. We can't deal with mass censorship. That is what dictators do. That's what communism do. Communists believe in mass censorship. And the Democrats have been leaning on this communism dictator type of style of governing where they want to just overtax, mass censor, and just doing what they want. And like I say, how can we as American citizens who say you believe in the Constitution, you believe in the Bill of Rights, you believe in your freedoms, right? And this is the oxymoron of the whole thing. They run around here talking about freedom. Freedom, but believe in censorship. Freedom, but want to overtax you. How is that freedom? You should be free to enjoy your money, free to speak, free to have a great life, right? So we need to think about that, ladies and gentlemen. But she fumbled the ball on this one. She fumbled the ball and she was frustrated. Didn't even go speak to the potential voters. She just it left. It says a lot about her. Says a lot. But as this campaign go along, and as of today, they got 47 days left. As of today, 47 days. We're going to see the pressure going to get even more and more on her. I guess now they like, well, you know what? Yeah, you might well go out there and do interviews now. We can't hide you no more. You got to go ahead and do it. And the more and more she speak, the more and more she's going to expose herself. And people going to be like, man, I ain't voting for her. That's just really what. Now, of course, some people will vote for her regardless. It don't matter what. We're talking about the people that actually could see, people with common sense. You can see, once again, she's not ready for prime.